Rimworld, a game of countless ideologies ranging from vampiric blood cults to animalistic tribes to technological super soldiers. All of them are wrong. There is only one item in the game that is worthy of true worship. This, of course, is the golden cube. It's beautiful, it's valuable, it's comforting, and it's addictive. A group of 5 true believers hold this holy relic, and they alone will spread the gospel of the one true faith, cubism. Welcome back to some good old-fashioned rimming, everybody. Our cubic cult catastrophe consists of Cubert, Cuba, Cubathy, Cubifer, and Circlo. We hate Circlo. Accompanying them are 3 animals, which we will be naming after my patrons picked at random: Cassie, Coffee, and Ads. Good luck, guys. These brave tribespeople carry with them the ultimate artifact, the foundation of their ideology. To summarize, the cubists have one goal: spread the word of the cube. Outside thoughts are not allowed. Before even starting, the power of the cube is beginning to show. The cube has a strong grasp on the minds of those around it. As time goes on and exposure to the cube continues, it will occupy the thoughts of the colonists more and more until they are utterly obsessed. We'll see more about what that actually means for us later, but for now, Cubathy is the first cube touched among the cult. It's important for our pillars of belief here that every room we build is a perfect square, so we'll start with a simple barracks to mark our base. The cube will be situated right in the center to provide comfort to its loyal followers. Next, we construct a simple workshop for research and cooking, also square of course. Cubathy and Cubert get into a fight about who loves the cube more. It's only been about 20 minutes, but Cuba is already pregnant. We will begin ushering in a new generation of cubists immediately. The father, Cubert, is rejected in his marriage proposal. Damn dude, rest in peace. With our lovely new research table, we can start by researching complex furniture to make some beds. Makes it a lot worse when you realize Cuba and Cubert were doing the dirty in the literal dirt. Ah yes, the first cube break. As colonists become more and more obsessed with the cube, they need to take frequent breaks from whatever they're doing to create cube sculptures out of whatever surface they're on. We would never destroy a work of art in the visage of the holy cube, so these will start to dot our base quite nicely in the near future. Cubert proposes to Cuba again, but this time he said please, and now they're engaged. It's time for our first raid, and by a really weird coincidence, they have the same name as the one from the Old Man video, the Filth Pillars. Thankfully, they're dispatched very easily. Time for some bedrooms to celebrate the victory. We give Cubert a Psycaster level, but the Empire considers his bestowing ceremony to be unimpressive. You will burn in an eternal fire of cubic hate. Time to build a table before everybody goes on a berserk murder rampage. Now, you may notice here that I accidentally created a rectangular room by removing this wall. This is a mistake I will correct later on. I promise I've already locked myself in an Iron Maiden for 3 days for repentance. Circlo is upset about some bullshit, but if I cared about the opinion of useless slugs, I would get nothing done in my life. We need a proper cathedral for the cube, so we've started moving the cube sculptures into a central location to mark the construction. We fix our heretical building error, and Cubert traps himself in a mountain. Nice. Combat supplier caravan stops by for a visit, and just in time for a pig raid. These guys have high pain tolerance, making them really scary to deal with. Luckily, we have a cluster of non-believers to do all the dirty work for us. Cubathy misses the cube and has to go fondle it for a little while, and this commitment is enough to convince the colony to appoint him as the true cleric of the cube, receiving the title Speaker of Volume. A hunter named Lumi falls from the sky, and while we could rescue her, she is a non-believer. She must be converted before she's accepted in our community. A group of wanderers are passing by and requesting some herbal medicine. Normally I would say screw you, I wish endless tableless meals upon you and your family, but these guys are cubists. My apologies, good sirs. Please, take our finest herbs for your travels. Ads dies of dog plague, tragic, and as his bonded human, it's only fair that Circlo be forced to eat him. A leathery stranger named Snipe shows up and offers to help us, but he is clearly hiding something. Unfortunately, they don't believe in the cube, and therefore they can fuck off. Cubert and Cuba have their marriage ceremony, and Cuba immediately throws up right after. We take a forced weather quest to gain a new colonist named Hakuja. While we do need a new set of hands really badly, this man is a heretic. You know the drill, he has to be enlightened before he's allowed to thrive here. Cubathy and Cubifer have started doing each other, further cementing that nobody likes Circlo. Cuba is giving birth. The conditions are not ideal here, and the baby is born very unhealthy. With standard medicine, the baby should recover. We have medicinal herbs and dirt. This baby is screwed. Unfortunately, we can't even preach health because weirdly enough, you can't indoctrinate a baby into a cult. The attackins come attackin', but I am in no mood for them. We will sacrifice them to the cube in hopes of good health for the new baby. Astoundingly, it works, and baby Walrus's illness loses severity. Now she's gonna make a full recovery. A wild Muffalo self-tames, earning it a patron name. Welcome, bear, enjoy your stay. And Cubert trapped himself in a mountain again. Lumi has finished her enlightenment and has earned her new name, Cubie. My gameplay consists of 90% removing notifications about cube obsession. Great experience, 10 out of 10. Cubert has done it! He's created a masterpiece in the likeness of the cube. This will be displayed in museums for thousands of years to come. The beauty of the creation is enough to inspire Hakuja into true enlightenment, earning his new name, Hakubcha. A gazelle self-tames, who will get a patron name as well. Kayla, have fun with bear. A trade caravan gets absolutely demolished by a group of shamblers, meaning plenty of free loot for us. Good job purging the non-believers, shamblers, very cool. Electricity unlocked. Now, as far as methods of generating said electricity, windmills? No, not square enough. Watermills? Not nearly square enough. That leaves us with these options for power generation. We'll start with a wood-burning generator to get us by until we can get the stronger alternatives. Hopefully our wood supply can handle running a fancy new AC unit we unlock a few days later. Gotta freeze all these drugs before they wither. And the food too, I guess, but that's less important. Cubifers in labor. This time they get lucky and the child is born perfectly healthy. Praise the cube! A cubja tames a male gazelle so we can start breeding them for food. Congrats, Ragdoll! A group of mad foxes rampage on in and get decimated. And then we learn how to cut stone. Not only will this allow us to build some defensive walls, but we can also make some luxurious marble tile to improve our sacred shrine. A raid from the faction of Moylock arrives. As per usual, they will be purged in holy fire. The survivors will be sacrificed to the cube. The raid did, however, injure quite a few colonists, and Hakubja died of malnutrition while Cubathy was tending to more important colonists. And honestly, thank God I don't have to say Hakubja anymore. Moving on, we just finished researching drug production, and it's time to mass produce flake for some delicious drug money. Not long after, another raid comes in. This time the furries are falling from the sky. At least this time we have the walls done so we can utilize our defensive point. We finally have enough infrastructure to fully enclose our hallways, allowing us to actually set up a central temperature system. We can also make better clothing. That's right, we learned how to make intricate temperature control units before we learned how to make pants. Party time! Who invited the pig people? I bet it was Circlo. He deserves this. Every time I try to build a new room, I have to move like 40 cube sculptures. Don't tell the cube, but I think these sculptures are starting to become a nuisance. Another furry falls from the sky, but this one can be easily scooped up and indoctrinated. Baby Walrus has grown into a child. Thankfully, she decided to become a cubist, so she doesn't have to be exiled. She also earned her new name, Cuberus. Raids are starting to get scary, so it's time to start building a hospital. Plus, some renewable power in the form of delectably square solar panels. Oh good, a mechanoid cluster. And they brought their Party City fog machine with them. Wait, is that a Tesseron? It seems way too early for a Tesseron to be showing up. Hold on. Okay, so I think I figured out what's happening, and gamers, I think we might be entering a death spiral. The game handles the difficulty of events based on your colony wealth. The colony is definitely decently well off, but this is still pretty rudimentary shit going on. Somebody smarter than me in the comments can correct me, but my theory is each one of these cube sculptures are considered works of art, and even though nobody will buy them, they still have a market value. So every single one of these herpes sores is driving up the wealth of the colony, meaning the raids and events we face are going to be much more difficult than our infrastructure can handle. Just as a little comparison, here's the wealth graph. Right now we're at about the same wealth level that we were at in the old man video at the end. Okay, we have no armor, shit guns, and an inability to focus. Let's do this. Thankfully, the river helps slow down the Militors, and we do manage to come out victorious. Good thing too, because Cuberus has no spatial awareness and has wandered directly out into the battlefield. A mining caravan shows up, and it's finally time to offload our vast supply of drugs. Buy all the gold we can, the cube demands it! Ashok is a greedy fucker and only joins us once we have piles of gold. He's been enlightened though, so he still gets his new name, Cubuk. A solar eclipse begins, triggering the Great Blackout, a several-day period in which we have no power because we rely purely on solar panels, so all we can do is build bedrooms and watch our food slowly rot. When the power's finally back on, we celebrate by carpeting our bedroom floors. We have an infestation, and not just of the cube sculptures. Everybody is kitted out with steel helmets now, but that won't protect them from being eviscerated by a giant bug, so we'll play it safe and do some kiting. In honor of our triumph, it's finally time to start making pants. Cubifer's baby has become a child as well, earning the new name Cubero. Time to give this 3-year-old a dustpan and a broom and send them to work. Yes! Burn all that oppose the cubist way. Cuba is pregnant again, Cubathy and Cubifer are fucking again, the power is flickering again, and Circlo is still unloved. Geothermal power is unlocked, so our power struggle should be satiated for quite a while. We'll need this extra power to fund our mad dash for better weapon crafting. We have to rapidly run from the wealth curse approaching us. Cuberus has been inspired by the cube and is doing some playful chalk drawings in its honor. Well done, Cuberus. Maybe now the cube will grant us a gift from above. Nope, just raiders. Have we not pleased you, Lord? What more do you ask of us? Here, have another sacrifice. Please grant us your mercy. The cube is still not pleased, and a cold snap has started. It's about to get real cold in here, so it's time to spam heaters down until we can maintain a survivable temperature inside. 4 heaters can't keep up with the size of the base, so we have to move one into the main bedrooms and close the exterior vents. We'll do the same to the hospital to ensure we have some safe temperature locations to avoid exactly what's happening to Cubera right now. The cold snap has passed, and the cube has dropped us a stimulus check from orbit. A dealmaker shows up and offers to help us. We don't listen to non-believers, of course, so we capture her and convert her before sending her back out to spread the word of the cube. Party time! We take a quest from the Empire to watch 5 prisoners for them for a few weeks. Being on good terms with the Empire may be our only chance at surviving this. Having some allied decked out troops to help would be extremely helpful, and we can use this time to convert more people. I should be worried about a raid coming in and wiping us out, but I'll believe that when pigs fly. Huh. After disposing of the swine, Cuba is injured, infected, and suffering from a third trimester parasite in her body. Because of this, she is heavily incapacitated, meaning she can't get up to do important things like worship the cube. This sends her dangerously deep into cube withdrawal to the point she almost drops into a month-long coma from the stress. Thankfully, the doctors bring the cube to her and get her up just in time to cure her. Right as a group of mad ibexes come in. There is no break in this horrid existential void. Time ticks on and each second is taken by abhorrent plagues that slowly wither away my psyche to the point of insanity. Anyway, back to the funny video game. Hubert is gonna die from an infection in his arm if we don't amputate immediately. He's our main builder, so only having one arm is gonna slow things down for sure. Cuba is giving birth again, and then not long after, Cubifur is in labor again too. No complications, thankfully. Now it's time to set up some automated defenses here at the funnel, even though it's been completely useless now that raiders are just airdropping in on us. Speaking of airdropping in, welcome back, filth pillars. Hubert comes very close to death, considering his neck was cut off about 90% of the way. Then extremely soon after, a mech cluster falls from the sky and starts sucking the life out of the earth. Oh god. Mech fight is actually going pretty well, at least until Cuba's head is cut off. Send the child out to avenge her mother. Yes, good. Feel the hate flow through you. Hubert, ever the gentleman, says, "Ah man, my wife is dead. Hey Cubie, wanna fuck?" Another Muffalo self-tames. Welcome to the death spiral, Dr. B. May your sentence here be as painless as possible. Expectations have reached a level that now the cult demands a large sculpture of the cube. Apparently the 500 small cube sculptures aren't enough, but whatever. Huberus has reached the age of 7 and is finally the perfect age for the mines. Now let's watch these two visitors get demolished. We take a quest to squash some bugs in exchange for a marine helmet. This should be pretty straightforward, just like the last infestation, other than Cubic having to take a break to build a cube sculpture in the middle of it. Bask in its infinite beauty and complexity. Oh, also, yeah, we can make assault rifles now or something. Parenting takes too much work, so it's time to start shoving the infants into a vat of nutrient juice until they are capable members of society. Speaking of useless piles of human flesh, a noble from the Empire wants to stay with us for a little while. We'll use this opportunity for more goodwill with the Empire, as well as converting a noble to the way of the cube. We finally got the tech for building basic prosthetics, so all one arm here can be made whole again. Looks like the furries have come to celebrate. We can finally utilize the funnel. We have a bit of an issue forming. Some of the cube sculptures have been sculpted outside of our walls, so raiders target them for destruction. Destroying them can cause temper tantrums, which would be extremely detrimental to a combat scenario. Our first growth experiment is complete, and she has earned the name of Cubo. We will also use some of this excess hay to insulate the walls of our freezer thanks to the insulation mod. You know what? Fuck it. Let's crack open the ancient danger and see what's inside. Ah yes, meat men and drug addicts. A classic. The humans inside kill off most of the flesh spikes, then fight each other to the death, leaving the scraps for us to pick off. The treasure inside consists of a joy wire module and a psychic pulsar, but this is by far the happiest colony I've ever had, so both those items are useless. The hermetic crate does have some luciferium in it, which could be saved for absolute dire emergencies. We can also strip the armor off these corpses and wash them to reuse them in our military. Meanwhile, the final baby is grown in the vat, earning the name Cuboon. Cubero has also grown up to the next growth tier. Party time! It seems bugs are the theme of this run, as some infested ship chunks fall from orbit and spew out some insects. Exterminate them! Security breach! Oh, fuck! I think they may have landed directly on a cube sculpture because Cubert immediately throws a tantrum about a lost sculpture. Now he's losing a fight to a single guinea pig. The paramedics are on their way. Just lie to them and say it was a mega sloth or something. Jesus Christ, Cubert, it was a single guinea pig! While the squad is recuperating from the first assault against the bugs, Cubic will create the ultimate super soldier. Go, Battle Horse! Fight! Thanks to the valiant sacrifice of Battle Horse, the squad is able to pick off the remaining bugs and destroy the ship chunks.
Ladies and gentlemen, get inside and lock your doors. This is not a drill. The rat swarm has arrived.
They're breaking down the doors, oh god. Run, QB! Run! We survived. Barely. Don't fuck with rats, everybody. The rats mangled us so badly that we've entered emergency medical mode. The kids will bring the medicine directly to the hospital, and anybody with any medical skill will have to spend days on end doing nothing but keeping people from bleeding out. We're rewarded for our barely scraping by with a bulk goods orbital trader. Now we can get more gold to honor the cube. We were able to finish converting the prisoners during the medical panic, and the first of the two of them has been recruited. Welcome, Cubellus. Please help make sense of this endless cacophony of horror. Oh hey, speaking of, a cougar just ate Cubo. Tragic. Prisoner going berserk. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get silly. We queue up a new wing of bedrooms. I'm sure our muscle parasite-ridden colonists will have a great time chipping away at that stone, especially in the middle of a cold snap. Thank you, Rimworld. The bedrooms are immediately taken by some bugs. We have a firm 11 a.m. checkout time though, so they will need to be forcibly escorted off the premises. We take another quest for hosting and converting a noble from the Empire for some goodwill. They'll be followed by a mech cluster in a few days, so we have to prepare. Thankfully, we recruit another prisoner in the meantime, renamed to Cubeman. Okay, it's been a few days and the mech cluster is here. Holy shit. Okay, everybody. This is very risky, but I'm going to have to use my brain. Hubert sneaks around the cluster into the ancient danger to grab the EMP launcher we left there, while the rest of the troops find cover behind trees and some hastily made sandbags. They have a flamer centipede, so I don't want anybody too clustered. Hubert EMPs the centipedes and Tesseron, while the gunners focus the biggest threats. Cubic will war call a cougar to help split the aggro and hopefully get a few hits in. With the major threats down, the melee squad will run into the turret blind spot and start bashing it to shreds. Okay, so that went not good. We have a brief window to retreat and heal while the mechanoids make their way up to the funnel. Just gotta deal with 400 infections first. We trust Circlo for one job, to stop the bleeding. He can't even do that right as he enters a cube raid from the mechanoids destroying his sculptures. Fear not, Cubists, we have a single child with a machine pistol ready to defend the colony.
Here we see the wild centipede gunner, frolicking amongst the gazelle and muffalo. Watch as it absolutely decimates a small child with a Gatling gun.
Cuberus unfortunately succumbs to her injuries while Cubic finishes off the centipedes. Literally about 15 seconds later, a group of cougars run in to finish the job. We'll just ignore them for a little while until we have actual red blood cells in our bodies. Cubifer is going to die of an infection regardless of anything our current technology can do. Thankfully, the Ancient Danger has a bunch of crypto sleep caskets so we can cryogenically freeze her until we can heal her infection. We just have to sneak past the cougars and run her to the caskets. We won't give the same luxury to Circlo though. He died as he lived, undeserving of medical treatment. Cubellus needs a new stomach, so we'll steal one from a new prisoner. Hey, quick side note. You know how cats eat everything that they shouldn't? Well, if I had to think of the worst thing they could eat, I would consider a 100% lethality super soldier death drug to be up there for sure. On an unrelated note, our colony cat Coffee consumed some of our Luciferium stock. For those who don't know how Luciferium works, it improves every stat of the pawn as well as rapidly speeds up healing. The downside, however, is if the user doesn't consistently take Luciferium, they will die. Bye, Coffee. We'll remember you. It seems Cassandro's finally giving us a moment to breathe. Time to finally lay down these gold tiles for the cube. Biosculptors are unlocked. This is going to be our saving grace for Cubifer. In the last video, I committed the cardinal sin of claiming that Biosculptors were from the Biotech expansion instead of the Ideology expansion. Unfortunately, I don't own a ukulele, so the YouTuber apology video will have to be delayed. We yoink Cubifer out of crypto sleep and shove her into the biopod while Cubithy gets his leg torn off by a disgruntled prisoner. Bugs spawn, cats die, food is gone, I'm gonna cry. Impids are here. They have very basic weaponry, so they end up being super easy to deal with. Gift of forgiveness from the cube. Oh shit, a Glitter World trader. These guys will have plenty of gold for our altar, not to mention the advanced components we can grab from them as well. The engoldening continues, but Cubithy and Cubifer can't decide if the floors or the walls would look better in gold. This leads to their tragic breakup. Party time! A massive Itakin raid comes in, but surprisingly we handle it easily. And this one prisoner keeps going berserk and I'm getting really sick of it, so we're gonna remove their legs. The Impid prisoner joins the ranks, earning the name of Cuban, somewhat of a tragedy as the name Danny Zytro is insanely cool. Fabricator's finally here, and the first thing it does is fabricate love between Cubithy and Cubeman. Beautiful. At this point, technology-wise, I'm sort of rushing for the endgame tech to desperately claw out of this death spiral. A Neanderthal raid comes in. Look at these idiots and their tribal weapon. Come on, Cuban, you're embarrassing us all. The Neanderthals somehow managed to come out victorious and knock down every able-bodied pawn. They pick most of the colony up and kidnap them. Even chasing them down gives diminishing returns. Sadly, there is no recovering from this heavy of a pawn loss, so this is where the Church of the Cube must end. For a fun finale, we'll reload a save, deactivate the cube, and then have them all square off, or should I say cube off, in their naked cube rage. We need a non-cube affiliated pawn to deactivate it, so we'll spawn in a Gary to handle this for us. Last one alive wins, go! Cubic is the winner! Yay! Congrats! Woo! Hoorah! Goodbye to one of the worst colonies I've ever had to maintain. Surprisingly, it was also the highest mood colony ever. I don't know if that was the cube joy or the constant sex, but who can truly say? Special thanks to my patrons as always for making these videos possible. The cube will make an appearance at each of your birthday parties. Bye.